So, this is what nothing feels like? I'm not dead, at least I think so. Now that I think about it, I wouldn't know how dying feels like. I'd expect it to be hot or cold or something. All right, me. Focus. Who am I? Shit, this isn't good. I pull all of my memories I didn't realize I was losing. I was a combat medic from Earth. I was a human who was left because. All right, so that isn't a lot. Medic, focus. What can you remember about that? Time passes hours, days, months, years. I would think that I would go insane, but I keep forgetting the last few seconds, keeping my focus on remembering what I had from my old life, until a presence made itself known in my mind. Quite persistent, aren't you? I hear these words in the very center of my being as if I was the one thinking about it. Who are you? I only allow part of my focus to leave my routine of memory exercises. Who we are is not important. What is important is where you wish to go from this point. What do you mean by that? Why are you focusing on remembering your past? What would you need those memories for? I don't have an answer for that. I believe you do. And what is that? You wish to make your way back into a world, correct? Yes. Why do you ask? You will not be able to make it into one by yourself. However, I could help you. What are your terms? Eager, are we? I have no terms for the time being. To exist outside of time and space is to be eternal. It gets boring watching universes pass without interfering. Luckily for me, I have been given an offering in one of the many worlds I have been watching. I have no need for it, but I believe you might be more grateful for it. Oh, what could be worse than this? I accept your deal. Correct answer. I will be watching you closely. What did you mean by it? A warm feeling washes over me as the feeling of my back touching a cold stone surface is stimulating my new body once again. For a split second, I don't do anything, just trying to take in my senses until the feeling of a liquid running down the side of my chest is felt, causing me to open my eyes. I'm in a cold stone cave on what looks like a sacrificial table, two large hallways, one leading to a bright light and another deeper into the darkness. What have I gotten myself into? Looking at my chest, I see blood running down my scales. I move my arms to put pressure on it as I look around the room for anything useful. Iron bar and a fire. Seems like whoever was here left in a hurry, because they left behind a good bit of stuff beyond the two things that got my attention. I pull myself off the table slowly and pick up the iron brandishing stick. If I remember correctly, I can cook myself closed to stop the bleeding. It's going to hurt a shit ton, but it's better than dying, probably. I put the long rod into the fire, making sure to move it to the bottom the best I can, so it will be the hottest it could be. After a while of letting it heat up, I grab a leather strap from a bag and put it in my mouth to bite down on, and then start the process. I bite down extremely hard on the leather, so hard in fact I bite right through it. After I finish getting it closed, I look down at my handiwork. It stopped the bleeding, so that's solved for now, so I can go back to inspecting the area. Going over to a bag and opening, I find a bunch of dried meats and a few leather water pouches. I decide to put on the bag before I continue looking around. A few books I can't read. Ritual candles, a solid dagger, I'll take that, thank you very much. I stop for a second and take a closer look at the room. The walls are engraved with a large amount of markings, symbols, and a few gems. I pick one up before feeling a sharp pain in my hand, forcing me to put it down. I grasp my wrist and look at my palm before seeing that there was no damage to it, figuring I might find a use for it. I tear open one of the water skins, letting it spill on the floor. Using the skin as a glove, I gently pick up the gem and put it into one of the side pockets of the bag. Well, goodbye, random room. I want to say something. That is, until I hear some noises outside the cave, causing me to make my way down to the entrance hallway to investigate. So, this is where the undesirables worship their gods? That is what I have been informed. Interesting. Have you investigated inside? Not yet. Then do so. Make sure to capture any of those you can. We need to find where the rest of their settlements are. Understood. Shit, all right, what's the plan? Me. The other hall. Yeah, good plan. I, as quietly as I can, rush back through the hall and into the other room. Inside, there is an odd-looking map I don't quite understand. I grab it and throw it into my bag before looking at the rest of the room. It looks like a primitive hospital, but everyone in it is dead. I don't have time to investigate as I hear footsteps from the hall. Quickly, I find an empty bed and position myself the best I can to look like I died. For further effect, I leave my injury exposed before closing my eyes. It smells like the rot in here. They slowly walk around the area inspecting some corpses. This one's dead, this one too, this one yet. Burn marks for that one, unfortunate. Eventually, they walk out of the room not grabbing anything. I wait a while before finally opening my eyes again. Bag's still here. Good. I slowly get up from my bed and make my way back to the entrance of the cave. All of them died of rot. All right, let's get a team up here to incinerate the bodies. It helps with morale. Very well, let's get going. Smell's making me ill. The two of them, after packing up for a while, start heading away into the forest. Speaking of forest, I'm able to get a view of the area outside the cave. Well, I can't see much. It's a jungle out there, blocking almost everything from view. Now that I think of it, it's probably a good thing no one can see here that well. I pull out the map I had and inspect it. There is a blue dot that is surrounded with another circle, so I assume that's this location. If that's the case, there is a river nearby that leads to another blue dot. That's going to be where I'm heading for now. I shove the map into my bag and head into the thick brush of the forest in hopes of finding, I'm not sure yet, but I'll figure it out when I get there. Medic! The medic! Ugh, this forest is impossible to get through. I walked for what must have been an hour and finally got to the river that looked to be around half that distance. Though now that I think about it, I don't know this world's measurement system, so who knows? Maybe they measure things differently, or this is just a big map. After I reached the river, I found myself a log to sit down on and rest for a bit. That walk took a lot out of me, more than I'd expect. I remember drills having me walk for half of the entire day while carrying multiple pounds of equipment. Right, that isn't my body anymore. I keep forgetting. I'm gonna try not think about that. It kind of makes me stress out when I remember that I am in fact an alien being possessing a body that, did it die? Did I just force the previous person out of this body? Okay, calm down, I couldn't control that. And they were gonna die anyway. Yeah, they were gonna die regardless, so it didn't matter. It's not good to let thoughts fester. Just keep walking, all right? All right. Despite me trying to keep my thoughts off of it by looking around, I couldn't shake an awful feeling I had in the back of my head that I'm just replacing someone else. I feel like I stole someone's body from them. I keep forcing the thought out of my head, but it keeps festering in the dark patches of my head. I slap my face to get my attention back to the real world. I have been walking for the past 3 hours, judging by the place the sun is in the sky. And if my legs were not protesting before they were about to go into revolution now, I make my way to a nice, shaded spot under a tree and sit down. And as soon as I do, all the problems my body has apparently been hiding from me come out to the surface of my attention. I pull out a water flask and some of the dried meat. The meat is tough, as the leather I used to bite down on before, but just as before, my extremely sharp teeth are able to cut through it relatively quickly. I chug some water to chase the solid stick of meat down, and then lean against the trunk of the tree. Could be worse. At least I'm not dead. I haven't really looked at myself yet, now that I think about it. I look down at the body I'm in. My chest still has a bad burn scar from the emergency procedure I did on myself, though my actual chest is covered by a bunch of scales. They are a lighter green than the grass all around me, but the scales not on my chest are almost the exact same color as the grass. I'll have to keep that in mind as I continue on my travels. Though I think I need to stop here for a while, though, I have a theory that my body is meant for shorter bursts of energy instead of long walks. My legs seem to support that theory, not only because they still are mad at the stress I put on them, but also because my feet are the same joint. My toes would have been probably making me faster. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know. I sigh and look around for somewhere to hunker down for the rest of the day. Eventually, I spot a good spot for the time being. There is a decently sized hole between two roots of a tree nearby. I put my bag in the hole and lay down on it, keeping my back facing the outside world. It is risky to rest out here, but my body isn't hearing it, so I'll just lay down here for a bit. Yeah, just a little while. Slowly, my mind drifts away from me as I fall into an unrestful sleep. Blinding lights as far as I can see. Entire forests caught ablaze from flying beasts dropping spores from the sky that tear open entire areas of existence into a hellish terrain. I hear someone calling me into a cave for protection, but before I can make it, I woke up. My eyes snap open as I start to calm down. The forest is the same as before from what I can see, though the colors are much less vibrant for some reason. Hold on. I look up to see a huge arch going over the entire sky. Does this planet have rings? It's mesmerizing, seeing a large glowing arch reflecting light back down onto the planet. I sit down and just stare at them for a decently long while. That is until I finally choose to get up and continue my adventures into the brush. The majority of light is blocked by the increasingly thick canopy, but as it turns out, I have night vision speed lucky me. It's still hard to see, but not as hard as it probably would if I was still human. Probably. Continuing into the forest, staying close enough to the river to just be able to follow it. I didn't know if those people would be anywhere near here, but there is no point in risking it. Eventually, I spotted something off. There was an odd wooden hatch, mostly covered by shrubs and other greenery. I knocked on the trapdoor hesitantly. Hello? I waited a while, but there was no reply. Before I go jumping into a random trapdoor in the woods, I decide it's best to inspect the surrounding areas for any other entrances. However, as I was exploring, I felt the distinct feeling of a knife to my throat. Wait! I yelp out to my unknown attacker. Shut up. You don't want them to find us, do you? Who's them? You know, the ones who have been hunting all the rest of us down? Do you seriously not know? I can't say I did know. How did you manage to make it this far? My amazing skills in being a sneaky bastard. So you do know about them? Well, it's pretty evident that I should know about them, so I think it's for the best. I just say yes. Yes, now can you please stop holding a knife to my neck? I already had to close a knife cut today, and I'm not in the mood to have to go through that again. Again. I woke up with a knife in my chest and had to patch it up. How? It, wasn't that hard. Just had to cauterize it shut. You're a healing person, correct? Medic. That's your name? Medic? That's not what I don't remember my actual name. And Medic is up for grabs. So, yes, my name is Medic. All right, Medic, welcome to Fort Salvation. We need a healer disparity, so I'm pretty sure you're going to be welcomed very quickly. They open the trapdoor and gesture for me to enter. I hesitate a bit, but figuring that they could have killed me later, I mentally say, fuck it, and climb in. There is a small stone cavern like before, which causes me to be a bit confused. Is this it? I ask. What? No, this is just the entrance chamber. Oh, okay, I guess that makes sense. Can you let me in then? Yep, just give me a second or two. All right. Goes to an area on the wall and starts writing some symbols similar to the ones that Medic saw in the place he woke up. So, never got your name. What is it? I go by Pine. All right, Pine. Good to meet you properly. Pine. All right. I have some spare clothes over there. They say as they point their tail to a basic pair of pants and a shirt which I throw on. Pine finishes writing the symbols, and a patch of the wall slides into the floor. How'd you? Pine. It is a bit more of a complex symbol, but that is how we keep things hidden. Have you not seen one? I figure that I should probably redirect the conversation elsewhere and hope that it doesn't come up again. They probably wouldn't believe me if I said that I didn't know, whatever they just did, though they might just be trying to test me or something. Let's just get a move on. I want to see what I will be dealing with. Pine. All right then, I'll lead you to the healing area. It's become more of a rot field scene. The last healer left, so I hope you can work through that. Hold on, I have a few questions. Pine. Sorry, but I don't usually spend much time down here. However, I know that the runner of the pub will probably know more about what happened to the last healer. From what I have heard, they spent a lot of time around there. Well, that's no good. Something big is probably going down if the healer was hanging around the bar. Maybe they were just squeamish and couldn't deal with the work. Distracted by my internal monologue, I didn't realize the sudden switch of the hall to a stairwell. I was just about to fall down what looks to be a 10-floor stairwell before I felt a tug on my lower back. Pine, watch where you're going. Remember, we don't have another healer, so you would probably have to wait to die. Then did you say wait to die? I asked. Pine sign. Well, yeah, no way to fix any major injuries like that. It's best to just make their death shorter, unless you know how to fix broken bones and deep wounds. I gesture at the decently sized scar on my chest from the dagger that I was impaled with. Pine does a double take at it, somewhat shocked. Pain. Well, I'll be. Who taught you? My mind draws a blank on what to say. What am I supposed to say? Oh, I'm actually from another universe where I learned how to heal people. You know. Oh, I just kind of knew. What did I just say? Pine. Uh-huh. Listen, I respect you not wanting to tell your secrets right off the bat. Just say that. Sorry, yeah, I just want to keep my secrets. Pine. All right, also eyes up, you're entering the cavern. I look up and see a huge city deep in the cave. Around a large stalagmite in the center of the cavern, I see what looks like a government building of some sort. There appears to be a decent amount of people gathered near it in what looks to be a town hall. It's made with a mixture of stone bricks and an odd green cloth that goes over it. It makes sense that their roof wouldn't have to be that structural. We are in a cave after all. Near the edge of the group of people, I see a decently sized building built in a similar way as what I assume to be town hall, with letters that, even though they don't look like English, I understand them. On the rocks. There have been passages carved into the walls, along with entrances to private houses, I assume. Along with that in the walls are a bunch of luminescent mushrooms that provide a part of the light of the cave. The rest of the light comes from a decently sized lava steam, a bit away from the main area. I stop and stare at everything. There are a decent number of other buildings around the area following a similar design practice. However, they don't have any roofs like the two attention grabbers. Pine, come on, I don't have all day. This way to the healing building. Sorry. I hurry my way along following Pine, still looking at the structures as I pass. Hey, Pine, who's this you brought it? I jump a bit, hearing a new voice so close to me. Pine, they are a healer who stumbled their way here. Hey, I will let you know I was very careful. I spin around to face Pine and this new person, but I'm caught a bit off guard. They are a completely different species than me and Pine. They have a pink furless tail with their body being covered with an unkempt brown fur. Pine, you and I know you are lying. Yeah. The new person snorts a bit, causing both mine and Pine's attention to slip back to them. What? It's funny seeing the first pair of slicks in a while argue. Pine, har. You have anything useful to say, or are you just going to stand there like a moron? All right. I'm sorry for messing around. Anyways, this is the new healer, eh? What's her name? Wait, I wasn't a girl last I checked. I am going to check that later. Pine, their name's Medic. Well, I'm 10. I work in the smithy, so I have a feeling coworkers will be going to see you soon. I'm definitely going to be seeing them, but not because they get hurt, but because I will definitely need some new tools. Well, I'm happy to help. 10. Ha, they slap my back. I like you. See me at the pub in a bit, and I'll buy your first drink here. Pine, 10, quit telling everyone who comes here that. Everyone's first drink is free. 10, bah, you're no fun. Pine, being fun never saved no one. 10, well, being a boring rat bastard ain't helped that nothing either. Pine, it'll let you know that you are the rat bastard. 10 breaks out laughing and punches Pine's shoulder before heading off saying something about having to finish things up at the smithy. Pine, all right, Medic, I need to get going, but it's the building labeled Healer's House. Just turn right here. All right then, have a good day, I say as I follow the directions I was informed about. I come face to face with an odd cloth door. Most of the other places have some sort of stone door on metal hinges, so that doesn't bode well for what's inside. Unfortunately, my fears were answered. I open the door to see a large room with a corpse pile on the side of the room. Dust covers everything, and there was no medical equipment beyond a pair of beds in the corner of the room. This is going to be a long day. A deal with the not-so-devil. The smell, just like the sight, was horrible. The residual smell of long, rotting flesh makes me almost vomit, almost stopping myself, due to the fact that I would have to clean it up. I step out of the hospital and take a second to breathe. I got a few odd looks from passers-by, but no one said anything. God, that smell. I'm never going to forget that stench. Well, I need to at least investigate it. A bit. I cover my nose and head in. I start by doing a once over the entire room, getting a better look at what I will have to be working with, and luckily, I make a few discoveries. First, the bodies have already decayed to skeletons. However, that made me wonder what the smell was actually coming from, which led me to finding the next surprise left here by the last healer. Inside one of the drawers was a newly dead animal and a notebook. I was tempted to throw the notebook out, but I figured that it might have something useful in it, so I just put it aside as I pulled the entire drawer out of the desk and walked it out of the room and threw it into a ditch that I was hoping no one was using. Getting back inside, I continue my investigation of the healing house. Yeah, I'm going to have to change that name sooner or later. Next was a door that led to what looked to be a bedroom. There was a bed and side table, along with an actual desk with what looks to be a long burnt-out candle, with the remains of it being all over the desk. Besides that, there was a small closet that I found a broom and dustpan. Ironically, those two things appear to be some of the only things in the entire building not completely covered in dust. I sigh and pick the two of them up and begin to clean up the two rooms, still giving a wide berth to the corpse pile. It takes me a while, but eventually I have bested my first foe. Mostly, the darn dust devils of my house? No, dwelling. That's it. I chuckle at that a bit before shaking my head and looking at the pile of bodies. There aren't a whole lot. It looks to just be 5 bodies. I would expect to be freaked out at it, but I just feel kind of desensitized. I should talk to someone about that, but for now, I move all of them into the closet before closing it and moving my side table to block the door, so it won't force itself open or something like that. Whatever. Until I can find the local graveyard or something, I'll be having skeletons in my closet. I stretch after the cleanup and put the notebook on the desk for me to read later. Well, it's rude to keep company waiting. I'll clean up the rest of this place later. Walking along the paths that lead to the pub lets me appreciate the diversity of this little underground town. A large amount of them are similar to the rat person I saw, but they aren't the only. One of the more notable races are snake people who, though similar to me, lack a few key details like a shorter tail thing and horns. Eventually, I make it to On the Rocks and look around until I'm greeted by a familiar face. Tin waving me over to sit next to him and a group of what I assume to be his colleagues. Not wanting to be rude, I head over and sit down in the group. Tin. Aye, there she is. This is the new healer that just came on down from the surface. Well, glad you're here now. Old healer up and left a few months ago, and we've just been having to hope we don't get too injured. Oh, well, I'm glad I'll be able to help. Dangerous work in the smithy, I'll tell you that. Right. They work in the smithy, and I could really use at least some basic tools like something to suture a cut close, tweezers, and a splint or two. Maybe even a splint or even a saw. If it's possible, could I come by and get some things made? I need it for healing. The group of workers look a bit confused for a bit before Tin asks, Tin, what you need stuff for? I thought healers didn't really need stuff. Well, the way I do it needs quite a bit of supplies to do it properly. I respond politely. Tin, very well, and I'll get them as soon as you give me the prints for them. Free of charge for our healer cores? Why, thank you. I'll make sure to keep the design simple for you. Tin, don't worry, I can craft anything you can draw up. Tin, remember the last time you said that? Tin, calm down. That was an explorer. How much trouble can one healer cause? Oh, Tin, sweet naive Tin. I will most definitely become a problem for you. I have an idea. You sure about that? I say, doing my best to raise my non-existent eyebrows. Tin takes this the way I would expect him to, by doubling down. Tin, I ain't seen nothing I can't solve with my professional crafting skills. Except that one time where, Tin, shut! I will be hearing none of it. Tin turns to me and puts his hand out. Tin, if I can craft all 3 things you draw up in 3 days, you gotta pay in full. If I can't, you get the next 3 things free. I put my hand out and shake his. Yeah, it's a risk. I don't even know how to get any money yet, but hey, no one's going to remember someone who always plays it safe. That's a deal. Asterisk, sigh, asterisk. Well, are you two trying to show the other one up? I look back over and, somewhat embarrassed, rub the back of my neck. Sorry I got a bit caught up in the challenge. Tin, don't worry about it. Happens to the best of us. You say that like you're one of the best. Tin, no need to be such a downer. Yeah, you're gonna order us some to drinks or what? I'm gonna be completely honest here. I have no clue what they're saying anymore. At some point during them talking back and forth, I just kind of zoned out until one of them started looking at me, like they just asked me a question and was waiting for a response. Oh, sorry, did you ask me something? I ask apologetically. I asked how old you were. I don't know exactly. Really, brain? Who? What do you even do with the blood that's sent up there? Fucking use it to finger paint? What you mean by that? They say while squinting at me. Well, I was abandoned when I was a little one. Never had anyone to keep track of it. That seems to have stopped the question in its tracks and earns me a few apologetic looks. Oh, I'm sorry, Bud didn't know you know how it be, eh? No hard feelings. I'd just rather not be asked too much about my past from now on. Tough point. So, asterisk, that's asterisk. What my brain has been doing with all the blood it's been getting. Sorry, brain, I won't question you anymore. All right, what's something you're good with talking about? I'm going to be honest, I'm really bad with conversations. So you ask, then I'll answer if I'm good with it. That's good. All right, where you from? It's been quite the while since we've seen another one of you slicks. Well, I don't want to lie to them. I'm going to assume this planet rotates the same way Earth did so. In that case, I came in from the southeast. From some mountains to the south of here, it's a long walk from there. I see. Is there anything good there worth trading? Not anymore. That sentence slipped out of my mouth. There isn't anything good from the place I was. But there could be other settlements like this, and I'm not going to be the reason why there aren't any meetings. Hold on, why is this place underground? Another tough subject? Sorry. They must have taken my 1,000-yard stare, not as me thinking, but as me remembering something bad. Well, it's better than having to explain things I don't know how to. Yeah, sorry for dragging the mood so much. I say jokingly. Tin, oh shush. Ain't nobody gonna get mad at you for being sad about bad stuff that happened to you. And if anyone does tell us, we won't take that lightly. I smile, blushing a little bit. Thanks means a lot. Tin, bah, don't sweat it. You're one of us. Ain't nobody mess with us. Well, if it's not too much to ask, I need some help with something. What might that be? The last healer left quite a mess behind. I took care of most of it, but, well, come on, spit it out, nothing we can't handle. He left behind some, bodies. They're just skeletons now from how long they have been sitting there, but yeah, I don't want them in my office. The entire group of them stops and stares at me like I said something. I can move them myself if I just know where to send them. That ain't what we're shocked about. It's the fact that there have been bodies left long enough to rot to skeletons. And no one do nothing about it. Yeah, disgusting to leave that stuff in there. Hey, medic, how long you spent in there? Well, I spent enough time to sweep the entire place clean, so round 2 hours. Tin, Aren't you scared about getting sick? Not any more than I usually am. I thought you might know about the fumes that float around the bodies. Being a health person yourself? I shake my head. Don't worry about it. I just need the bodies gone for cleanliness. Tin, you sure you ain't need to get some shrooms? I'll be fine. Also, shrooms? Tin looks completely shocked at me asking about what they meant by shrooms. Tin, shrooms? They pull the illness out through your eyes. You can see the sick, levin you. Are they being serious? They've been using psychedelic mushrooms to treat sickness? That won't do anything except make the person who's sick be able to ignore it for a while. That's probably why, in all fairness, where I came from, we used a special plant that does the same thing. That seems to appease them, as they all nod in understanding. Seemingly as the conversation once more changes away from me, I take this as an opportunity to head up to the bartender. I'm not planning on drinking anything, but instead, to get some sort of pure-ish alcohol to use as a disinfectant. Hey, I'm gonna head up the bar head. I need some alcohol for a project. Piff! Nice one, medic. I'll have to use that one on me wife next time she catches me out. Hey, yeah, project, I'll check in on that. Okay then. Tin, wait! I stop and turn around to face Tin. Yay? Tin, where are the things we need to get rid of? Stop making it sound like we're trying to kill someone. I snorted before telling them that they're in the closet behind my side table. I don't care how you do, but get rid of them. Tin nods and gets up, bringing the rest of his crew with him, as I head up to the person running the front. What it's gonna be, they ask. I need the purest alcohol you got, preferably to go, I respond. They look a bit confused, but eventually shrugs, before grabbing a bottle off of the shelf behind them. Oh, this is my first time here. Doesn't that mean this one's free? I've been told that. They sigh and nod before pulling out a book. Name? Medic. Occupation? Healer. They nod and then hand over the bottle. Have a good day. Remember that this is the best place on the rocks. Ooh, catchy, I like it. You too. I stop and mentally punch myself as I slowly walk out of the pub, shaking the embarrassment out of my head. As I'm making my way to the makeshift hospital, as I will now be calling it, I see a group gathered around someone not good. I rush over to the crowd to see someone with a knife wound in their leg. Not just someone. Pine.